Hi guys, my name's Kristen.
And my name's Ryan, and we would like to welcome you to our therapy session today. We're going to go over a few aspects of stress management and coping techniques.
Does anyone have any possible questions before we start this session? We just want to remind you that this is a safe environment. Whatever you do say, we want to keep in this room and keep in this group. So does anyone have any questions, concerns?
No.
Okay, well, let's get started.
All right, so we're going to start by introducing ourselves to everyone. State your name and why you're joining us today. And anyone want to start?
I will. My name is Jess, and I served 2 tours in Iraq for a total of 8 years. And I'm just getting adjusted to my daily life and trying to get adjusted to family life and try to spend more time with my son.
Awesome. Is anyone else?
My name's Kelsey, and I was in a car crash a few months ago with my brother, and unfortunately he passed away. We were just driving, and a drunk driver hit us, and it's been really hard for me to get in cars, and I can't make myself get in the car, which is hard because it minimizes where I can go at times.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You want to go?
I'm Emily, and I was sexually assaulted in my house a few months ago, and I'm just not really doing well with life in general.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, guys. Well, so we would like kind of to talk about what is like your main trigger that causes this anxiety, this PTSD that you guys possibly have. The main trigger that you feel like sets you off. Does anyone like to start?
I will. Loud noises mostly just trigger my PTSD. Usually, like banging of pots and pans, or like even fireworks in certain situations. Also, sometimes being in situations in like large crowds too. Concerts, kind of stuff like that triggers just my anxiety with being on tour.
Anyone else like to go?
I'd say my biggest trigger is thinking about getting in the car, which really affects me because I can't really work unless I'm doing it from home, and my job doesn't allow that. So I've been jobless for a couple months now, and it's really hard to find a job. And it also impacts me being able to go grocery shopping. I have to have my mom come and do it for me, and so I depend on her to do a lot for me because I can't get myself to get into the car.
Do you have anything that like keeps you calm to maybe like when you're around cars, or can you be around?
I can't even be around them. It's hard to even go outside and walk to the mailbox. It just really brings back the whole memory of my brother in the car, and it just like replays in my head over and over again.
How does that affect like your social life with others?
Everything's online, so like I'll talk to some friends like through Facebook and stuff, and they'll call me, but like face-to-face interaction's hard because they all have their own lives too, so they can't just drop what they're doing to come see me. So it's really impacted my social life. I think I've slipped away from a lot of my friends, and sometimes it just kind of feels like it's just me.
How about work? Do you have work or?
No, I lost my job because I can't go into work anymore. I can't get into the car to go. And so for the past probably 6 months, I haven't had a job. I've been trying to look for one that I can do from home, but nothing's came up yet.
Are there things like online that interest you that you can do from home?
I mean, I can do office work, I guess. That I could do from home.
Well, we can look more into that later on.
I just don't really like being alone ever. I'm not comfortable being alone just because that was when I was assaulted. I was followed home when I was like followed into my house, and this man like forced into my house, and so I'm just not comfortable like being around men, and I'm scared to be alone like in my house just because I'm scared I could be assaulted again. Just that if somebody follows me home again. And I also don't even really like to go out in public just because I feel like everyone's like staring at me all the time and like judging me for like, even though I don't like, they can't obviously tell that I was like sexually assaulted, but I just feel like everyone's just like staring at me, and I'm like uncomfortable with it because I feel like they're like thinking bad thoughts about me.
Do you have like any possible like person that you can turn to, or like have you ever thought of getting a roommate?
Well, I do have a roommate, but she's not home that often because she works a lot, but it is really nice when she is home to like have somebody there to talk to, and sometimes we'll go and like I'll just like go sleep in her bed just because I'm so scared to like sleep by myself.
Oh, we can try to find some coping techniques to have you feel better when you're alone.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. And how do you guys normally act whenever these triggers happen?
Like you said, loud noises.
Yeah. So like what is your reaction to those?
You said pots and pans.
Pots and pans and just loud noises like outside of the house, and just kind of like thunder and lightning. Sometimes the flash of lightning resembles some experiences on the field, and usually I try to cope with these just by like ducking and cover, or I'll become really kind of like manic, and just try to find a place for safety, and especially when I'm in places that are public and stuff like that. It's obviously causes to see a little bit of a scene, and I just basically kind of go into the mode of being on tour again. And my main kind of concern is, duck and cover, run for safety, anything like that. And it just has definitely impacted the way that I can kind of go about my everyday life.
What kind of triggers you guys?
I'd say, like what I was saying before, like my trigger is like going outside and being around the cars, like even walking to the mailbox. I don't even like hearing the cars, let alone seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's like my biggest thing is, and it's like it's really hard to do anything outside of the house without seeing cars.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just shut everything out and stay inside my house. And I mean, it's impacted my work life, my social life. And so I think it'd be nice if I could find something that will help me be able to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can definitely go over some options maybe later on in this. You?
So basically, if I get triggered, like if I like hear noise outside, like if I hear like people outside, like especially like a man's voice and stuff like that, I usually will go like just like lock myself in my bathroom, and usually will end up staying there until like my roommate comes and like finds it when she gets home from work. Like she'll come and like knock on the door and like I'll like hear that she's home. So that's usually really like the only way to like comfort myself is to like lock myself in the bathroom. Like I'll go take like my laptop in there and just like watch Netflix in there until she gets home.
How long do you normally stay in there? Like the longest, I'm gonna guess.
Sometimes it can be hours. Usually it's like more so at night. So she luckily like comes home at night. But if I hear voices, like especially like in the evening time, is usually when it like trigger me. And so I'll go and sometimes I'll be in the bathroom for like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's really been like longer than that because she'll come home from work sooner.
Have you guys like possibly like practiced any coping techniques to prevent these situations to get too stressful? Have you like tried anything, or just like, I know you said duck and cover, but have you ever gone to do something in life or anything like that to help with them, or?
Usually I try to block out some of the outside sounds that might trigger my PTSD, like usually music covers the sounds. I'll usually have to just use like sound canceling headphones and just kind of zone out until I can kind of come down from that anxiety. And I usually try to listen to very calming music, nothing with too many instruments, like maybe something have like an ambience, whatever.
Like a beach or like a nature type of like water.
Both like the beach kind of helps, and just things that aren't high energy, I guess, kind of calming. Sometimes even classical, just depends on the situation.
Have you ever like thought about sleeping with like white noise? Like the white noise machines?
I have thought about it, but I never have really tried it, just because it's it bothers my wife, and I don't know, it's just kind of something I haven't really tried yet. So.
I guess to prevent a stressful situation for me is I used to try to go outside, like walking to the mailbox and take baby steps, but it was too overwhelming for me. So most of the time I'm just inside the house now, and that kind of just blocks out everything. I try, like when I go to the mailbox, I try listening to music, but even like the side of the cars, it brings back so many memories that I just couldn't handle it.
Do you think like that, like keeping yourself inside is like making your like kind of like your lifestyle worse, or is it?
Yeah, it's definitely impacted my life in so many different ways with my social work and just family in general. But like for me, that's the only way I can deal with it, and so I have to do what I have to do, and that's just to stay inside.
For me, I like enjoy being around people, but it's even just hard to get to be with people just because I feel annoying, like, texting people all the time being like, oh, hey, like, do you want to hang out? Like, sometimes it's even just hard for me to, like, get out of bed because I'm just, like, scared to get out of bed just because I don't know what's going to happen, or, like, I don't mind going to work because I enjoy being at work because I'm at least, like, around people that I'm, like, comfortable with, but there's times where I just don't want to get out of bed to even go to work, or I'm scared, like, between, like, just, like, walking to my car or walking from my car back to my house that I'm just, like, so uncomfortable.
Do you possibly, like, why do you think you feel that way of the annoying people? Like, just from texting them all the time? And trying to
I just feel like I'm texting them all the time, like, being like, oh, hey, do you want to hang out? And, like, obviously, like, people can't hang out all the time, so I feel like they feel bad, like, telling me no, but, like, at the same time, like, they want to hang out with me, but at the same time, like, they might have other stuff, but feel bad saying no just because of them knowing, like, what happened with me, like, they just kind of, like, feel bad.
So you have, like, a support group, like, of friends that do know that knows what happened?
Yeah, they do know what happened, but, I mean, they don't fully, like, understand just because, like, they haven't had it happen to them, so they don't know exactly how I'm feeling, just because I don't really like to talk about it, just because it ends up, like, triggering me more, and I just, like, don't really want to talk about it as much.
Have you ever had, like, a sit-down, like, conversation with all of them together, or
No,
to
normally
kind of
it's just,
explain
like,
everything?
I think it was mostly just, like, texting them, like, kind of after it happened, because, like, I had to go to the hospital, and so one of my friends came with me, but so she knows, like, the entire, like, story, but, like, the rest of them just know, like, that it, like, kind of happened, but don't really know, like, the details of it.
You think that maybe could be a possibility to do, just so they have a better understanding of it?
Yeah. I guess it probably would be a good idea for me to, like, tell them that I, like, am more comfortable being, like, around people, and that it's hard not having, like, my roommate home all the time, so it's, like, nice if, like, one of them can, like, come spend the night with me or something like that, or if I can, like, pet sit one of their pets or something, just even have, like, a pet there with me.
We can definitely look into that after this session and
Yeah.
definitely try to get you put together with all your friends.
Yeah.
So, what were some things that you guys enjoyed doing before, like, these events happened in your life?
For me, I really enjoyed playing sports with my son. His favorite sport is baseball, same with mine. So we used to, like, throw the ball around. I used to try and teach him some techniques before he started Little League. And now, just with my PTSD, the triggers of outside, loud noises and everything like that, it makes it hard to go outside. So we haven't gotten to really play as much, nearly as much, and I miss spending that, like, quality time with him, because that was something we bonded over, and it was just us. And now we have to find other things that usually take place, like, inside or something like that, and may not be as enjoyable for him as it, would be outside doing sports together.
So does, like, the noise of the bat hitting the ball, does that affect you, or?
Yeah, the crack of the bat, that definitely triggers a noise that's similar that I experienced. And just hearing that, I don't want to be that parent, on the field, being kind of, like, freaking out, because usually I tend to get, like, into, like, a rage, and I don't want to I don't want to embarrass my son and cause him, like, any trouble when he's playing his favorite sport. But other things like that, and sometimes even shouting just kind of makes me unsettled. So it's kind of hard to be in a sports setting outside.
Have you ever thought, since you do like to cover sounds up with music, have you ever thought of maybe using music, like, in an outside environment? Have you ever used music in an outside environment to, like, complete activities so your triggers don't happen in front?
I haven't really tried that yet, just because having headphones on in public might be kind of looked at kind of weird, or, even just sometimes knowing what the sound sounds like, it's hard to even just, like, block it out, like, it might just, like, replay in my, in my head while I'm out there, but I definitely would try and consider doing that.
I think that could be a good coping technique that you could definitely use, and just do baby steps, do little places at once, and then slowly getting bigger if you have those space to take those steps.
Before the incident, I really enjoyed going down to the beach because it was so peaceful, and it's a time where a lot of my friends would go and hang out, and so I spent a lot of social time there. And also it was, like, a thing that me and my mom used to do when I was younger, so it was always, like, one of our things to go do and just spend quality time together. And of course, we don't live close to the beach, so I have to drive down to the beach. And
How far is that drive?
it's about 2.5 hours. And so I've thought about like maybe taking like sleeping medicine to try to calm me down, but I just don't know if it would last for the whole time. So since the incident, I haven't been able to go down to the beach. And it's just like one of a place that I like to go to be calm and relaxed and stress free, which is like something that I could really use right now, but I don't think I can do the drive.
It's just way too far for you.
Yeah. I
definitely think baby steps are the best
yeah.
coping way that you can definitely use, I think.
I think maybe if I can start walking to the mailbox and then maybe going to the grocery store and stuff like things like that, I should probably work on first before I will be able to go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping if I can do some baby steps, maybe I'll get there sooner than later.
I used to really enjoy going like actually out with my friends. Like I still see them now, but like I don't really enjoy going out just because there's just so many like men around that I'm like scared if one could like drug me or like just have the same situation happen like where one follows me home or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I feel like I miss that aspect of like actually going out and like being around people, like dancing and just hanging out with my friends. And I also used to really enjoy volunteering at the Humane Society, but I don't really do it as much anymore because there's a lot of men that work in there and I just like don't really know them that well, and so it's like kind of hard for me to like be around the, like men that I don't really know just because I don't know if something like could happen. Like obviously I don't think it shouldn't happen again, but you just never know.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of coping techniques can we try to pull out of the things that you enjoy? Try to find coping techniques to get you back into these daily activities. Like we said, a coping technique maybe should be like the music going out. How else do you think you could definitely try to like work with your surrounding areas?
I think I definitely need to maybe try some like meditation, maybe before and after or even during. Maybe like some of my son's baseball games. But I definitely I'm open to trying the music thing outside. But that and just using meditation methods and techniques to kind of keep myself at a resting level so that I don't become like in a rage and react a crazy way and kind of push people out of my life. I want to, maintain the people that I have or the relationships that I have with people in my life, and I think that by starting with that at least, that might, get me somewhere that I can kind of work on.
Meditation is definitely a good one, and I think that can like bring all different things because they definitely have breathing techniques that you can use. And so maybe like when you like learn meditation, do it like at home or something, you can work on those breathing techniques and then slowly maybe bring them outside and go to places with them. I definitely think that could be a great technique for you.
Maybe I can start watching something inside the house that has to do with cars, and maybe that can help me get used to like the noises again, and maybe kind of turning it into some kind of positive instead of looking at it so negatively. That's like,
I definitely think baby steps are the best step for you.
Yeah.
Like going to the mailbox, going in this, and I think maybe having goals. They don't have to be. They can be short term, they can be long term, but I think just setting those goals and then you do them at your own pace.
Okay. I think with me, maybe just it might be helpful to like talk to other people that have like had something similar like happen to them, because I think that's one thing with my friends that I like struggle with is like they just don't fully understand like what like how I was feeling like in the situation and like how I've been feeling afterwards and stuff like that, and like just like how hard it is to like not have somebody around me all the time. So like even maybe like if I should like look into getting a pet or something to maybe see if like they'll be able to like keep me company, and like if I got like a more for like ferocious dog or something, like bark like when people like come near my door or something like that.
Have you ever thought of like pet therapy? I feel like have you ever heard of pet therapy?
I've heard of it, but I haven't like really like looked into it.
I think that could be a good choice for you. It
Yeah.
works with having dogs just come up to you and just kind of keeps you calm and everything. And I think if you maybe, like you said, have a dog in your house, I think that could be helpful for you guys.
Yeah, I think I'm allowed to get one where I live, but I just have to like double check to make sure and see if there's any like restrictions or anything. But I think I could like financially like support a dog, but I just like hadn't really looked into it yet, just because before this I was like really busy all the time, so I was like worried I wasn't gonna have time to take care of a pet. But now probably would be like a better time since I'm home a lot more.
All right, well, I believe that concludes our time for this session. I think we made some pretty good progress for this session. And anybody have any questions or comments before we leave today?
No, thank you for helping us.
Of course, yeah, we will love to see you guys back next week for our next session.
Thank you.